call this meeting to order. Young County Commissioners Court in a regular meeting, February the 23rd, 2015. It's about 9:32 a.m. on my clock. Make note that this meeting 10:30. Yeah, excuse me. Make note that this meeting was notice was given in the manner and for the time required, and make note that also all members of the court are present. If it's convenient, we're pleased. Wiley will lead us in our invocation.
Father, we just thank you for the day. Father, we just thank you for the blessings. Father, we just thank you for any kind of moisture we can get, Father. We just ask you to continue to send it. Father, we just ask that you be with those that are on the highways today. I pray that you give them traveling mercies. Father, I pray that you be with those that are sick around us, Father, and I just ask, Lord, that you put your hands upon them. Father, we just ask you to be with us in our meeting today. I just ask, Father, that you give us guidance and direction in all that we say and all that we do. And we just ask all this in your precious name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the city of Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Everybody getting a little sleep nice?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you get back that thing.
Well, I don't actually get out there and drive the dump trucks.
You're doing most of the pointing?
What's that?
You're doing most of the pointing?
Yeah, I do most of the pointing.
When it doesn't get done, do they call you?
Yes, sir, they do.
Well, like Commissioner's job.
Yeah, that's right.
Item number 3, public comments, announcements, presentations. Noted on our agenda here, and this item is certificates of completion for Jamie Freeze, Land District Clerk, the open meetings training, and the public information training. There's certificates in your packet. Make note of her completion of those, and we'll file those as record as exhibits as we did last meeting with our county clerk, Ms. Harden. The next point that I have in here is got Zach Houston here with Texas. He's our resident or area engineer. How do you call that?
Area engineer.
Area engineer. Yes, sir. Headquartered here in Graham, and I serve on the transportation committee, Cross Plains Transportation. It's kind of an advisory committee, I guess you would say, up in Nortex. And we had a meeting last Thursday where we got a pretty lengthy report from TxDOT. And Zach's got some projects here in this district that I thought would be a good idea if he'd come by and give you a little heads up on. One of them's over here on 209, I think. And so, Zach, if you will, give us a little presentation here.
I printed you each out some packet here. Too much.
I think I'll call you.
A few things along with the projects. The judge asked me to be available to answer questions and talk about some of the other programs that TxDOT helps administer with the county. The first one is the first sheet or statement sheet in your packet is the County Transportation Infrastructure Fund grant program. And what we're looking at here is a summary of every county in the Wichita Falls district and their allowable grant proportion and what they've applied for so far and what they've been reimbursed for in their remaining balance. And the second sheet in here is a summary of just Young County. And as of our accounting records last week, we've had two reimbursements here throughout this program. totaling $257,560 to date.
That's what's been reimbursed to you, Ken?
Yes, sir, I believe so. Okay. Like I said, that's the latest one that's on our website, our SharePoint site. And the third one I included in there was Montague County's breakdown sheet. They've completed the most out of anybody in our district project-wise. I think they've done 10 to date. So exactly what those projects are aren't listed. I didn't have that information available as to what type exactly each one of those projects were. But that's a summary of the reimbursements. That's the accounting for the programs. If you guys need any more specific information or have any questions on that program, I'm sure find some answers. I know that the district guys have come and visited with Marcia here, and as far as I know, the program's working pretty good. Everybody has a good understanding of how it's going. If y'all have any questions, I'm sure we know them by now.
Weren't they coming to do some training?
They came, it was week before last, and Samantha Cato and Alan himself had sat down with us, Cheryl and I, and went through some of the bills and really answered a lot of stuff, and they're helping us progress with this. So
Productive meeting. A productive meeting.
A great meeting, answered lots and lots of questions. So
Zach, appreciate all your help.
very, very pleased with.
Thanks, man. And at the Cross Plains, the regional meeting, the judge was speaking about, Alan stood up and offered to make that training available to the other counties as well. And it's kind of looking for interest in more of a broader training. I'm sure you probably have some stuff coming to you here for too long on any.
I got an email there regarding that, which
For March the 19th, I believe we're gonna, Alan and Samantha, we're gonna coordinate a meeting, I believe at Nortex, right in that area.
Right, that's probably the email I've got.
I think it is, because I know we included you on it, so.
That's all I've got on the search program, the county infrastructure grant program. Like I said, unless you guys have any specific questions, I can get you some more information, and I'm available.
I guess you can expect more of this to start coming in the springtime as the weather warms.
Yes, I expect so.
The discussion down in Austin this last week was that it was coming in awfully slow. Like $27 million of that $225 million had been applied for. And they were asking us to spend it because if we don't spend it, the legislature's going to think we don't have the need for it. So guys, get your projects together.
I was surprised, and I didn't print that out because there's so many counties, such only pieces of paper, but I was surprised at the number of counties in Texas that didn't apply to participate in the program. That seemed odd to me.
Yeah, there were quite a few.
Quite a few big ones.
It doesn't make sense because whenever there's not that much paperwork involved, everybody works together and it's
I think some of the smaller counties assume there's more paperwork involved than there actually was, and that they just simply didn't make the effort to do it.
I think the legislature made a concerted effort to decrease that, to make it as accessible as possible.
And if it's not again, I understand the TxDOT may be less involved with it than before.
That part I'm not real clear about. I've just heard talk. I haven't seen anything right about that. Hopefully more information to come here pretty shortly. If y'all look, I folded up the next batch of paperwork in your deal because it's a large piece of paper. And what this is a map, color coordinated map, and behind it are corresponding data. And what this is showing basically, this is our district comprehensive map. And what this is showing is everything that we have on the books through the fiscal year 2018 level. And I've tried to fold it up where you're looking right at Young County when you come to it. When you look at Young County, you see a lot of stuff highlighted on here, a lot of roadways highlighted. But primarily those are going to be seal coat roadways. That's what we do primarily down here. That's our main project time. Like the judge was saying, we do have a project coming up on 209. I'll talk more about that here in a minute. But other projects of interest or of note, I guess, on this map are some of these projects are Centerline texturing projects. And that's where we go put the rumble strips along the center line. If a highway's wide enough to do so, it's gotta be at least 28 foot for us to do that. That's,
Zach, had any trouble with that, those kind of rumble strips holding water and leaking into the?
you know, we were real worried about that when we first started doing these back, 10 years ago. And, really haven't seen anything by way of failure mode directly attributable to these rumble strips. The water evaporates out of there pretty quick, and we've got guidelines that prevent us from doing them unless we have enough surface asphalt on the roadways. If we've only got an inch of asphalt on there, we're not going to do this. We've got to have a minimum depth of hot mix on the road before we even do these.
How deep is the start?
Those things are, there's a range, they're between 3/8 and 5/8, I think is what they're supposed to be. They're not as deep as what they. Yeah, they do a good job. They do a great job. They save we've submitted that through a safety protocol or a project call, and everywhere that we have eligible to put those on, I'm putting them on, or I'm recommending to put those on. Every highway we've got wide enough to put them on, we're gonna do that. There's a couple county road bridges on this map. I think they're numbers 47 and 48. One of them is just north of Almy on Hall Road. And then 48 is on Stewart Ranch Road. And you're familiar with those projects?
Yes, sir. Like you said, it's late in April. Probably start work on it in June or July.
Yeah, this summer.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. State Highway 16, if y'all gone outside the town, you've seen where we're upgrading some bridge rail on 3 structures between here and the county line. 209, we are actually having a pre-construction meeting for the first piece of FM 209 tomorrow in my office. And that will be the widening structures and widen the highway from the 67 intersection 3.7 miles, I believe, to the west. Yes, 23109. It's not quite 23109. It's a little bit further back this way. I think it's not that far. I think it's.
You don't get to the bridge.
Yeah. No, it's going to be.
Residential area stops right there.
We have the rest of that road under plan development.
You know, that road, though, we've been talking about that road since the early 90s, right down there in Rudd. What the need was, when I was commissioner there, I wrote several letters to legislators and text stop one on regarding that. It's a dangerous road, and one that you couldn't meet, 2 trucks can't meet on, stay on the pavement, one got to get off. And that's been on a priority on this Cross Plains transportation list for quite some time now. So I'm real tickled to see that project get funded.
Well, thank you, and I'm happy about it too. We're actually, this section that we're doing this summer, or that we'll be starting as soon as possible, is from maintenance funds that we've diverted into a project. The rest of the roadway, as much of it as we can continue to develop, stays on that priority plan, and it's not solid in the levy at this point. It's still on that widening priority. Continued pressure and support would help in that effort through the groups you talked about and the letters if need be. But yes, that is a widening priority. Several other roadways are widening priority in our area too. 61 being one of those in the same area. It's a road that needs a lot more than just a civil road. Road needs some help.
I know intersections that y'all go by, fatalities and wrecks and stuff, to see what kind of attention needs to be done to it. Do you do the same thing on roadways like 209, or is that way into the equation?
Yes, it does weigh into the equation. If it's a widening priority that's developed using safety funds, yes, that is a great part of what goes into the analysis if there's been accidents of different types on the road. So, yes, it plays into the game very much so. Just like the alignment of the road, our curb dirty it is, how hilly it is, how wide it is. You know, all those factors play in. Unfortunately, the most weightful criteria is usually the traffic, and that makes it compete with high volume roadways across Texas for funding. And our area is pretty rural and pretty low volume compared to a lot of similar
Well,
roads.
tell you what, there's more volume on it. It's getting pretty thick compared to what it used to be when,
That low
20
volume,
years ago. That's, I guess it's the low volume, that's absolutely low volume compared to the Metroplex, which stopped all.
that low volume, that's not an excuse. That's not us just saying there's just not enough traffic. We're going to continue to try to get on the list to get work done in that area. The little projects that have the black numbers around them, those are ones that we do in-house. And seal coat primarily, and some short windings maybe on some of these other smaller FM roads. Another road on my priority is FM 1769 between 380 and Genie.
That's got some book hooks in it.
Yes, and it's experiencing a lot of truck traffic. And a lot of what it's getting is because of what we're doing along this 277 corridor. They're hauling base rock out of Burkett's Pit to our projects on US 277 between Holiday and Seymour.
Zach, they're also using Fine Road as a shortcut across there also.
Yeah,
Fine is taking probably.
it is. You're right. Unfortunately, they are getting back that way also. A lot of trucks all day long. There's some wind farm activity going on up north too that it's helping that.
We just need to keep making noise about fines. Is that how we something down there?
I believe so, yes sir.
No. We talked.
It's got the same criteria, you know, challenges that these other roads do. But we'll continue to do what we can. If you guys look over this map and see something you have a question about or something, I'll be happy to answer.
Another project that's on that priority, I think, I can't remember how many we had on there, about 9, 10, high priority. One of those is a 16 and 115, flyover, or whatever you call it, fast. Have you talked about that a little bit?
The Loving intersection
Yeah.
at State Highway 16 and State Highway 114, that is also on the Cross Plains
That's
priority list. And the latest that we've got an update on that intersection is that we have another round of safety project funding, or a call for projects coming out. I haven't seen all of the specifics of that project, but one of the criteria is an at-grade, or an intersection grade separation project. And that, again, we've been talking about criteria and traffic.
Well, that particular intersection, there's been quite a few accidents with several fatalities over I don't know, the course of several years, but and I think that's been on the drawing boards and the requested list for a good while, and it's been on this priority on our, in this Cross Plains Transportation Group. It's, you know, I don't know how much weight it pulls with TxDOT, but it's something that we score as a group, evaluate all of those suggested projects. It's walked up the ladder considerably over the last several years, and it's on the high priority list now. And, you know, I don't know.
Well, the state of Texas obviously paid attention to the traffic on 114 because they did the same correction at 51, the intersection of 51 and 114 right outside of Boyd, between Boyd and Fairgrounds. But that was the intersection. This intersection is much more dangerous because of the crossing with Highway 16. And that overpass has really made that a much safer area than before. No doubt those things are expensive.
Yeah.
And no doubt they save lives.
The main problem in the studies that I've seen on 114 is that the intersection is too wide right there. And people have a hard time when they pull up there judging the distance from going from east or west. And they pull way out in that intersection, and then I beat that, and about that time they get smacked right there. But the county's been involved in accidents there. In fact, one of my drivers, we wasn't really then, it was precinct 3. If he hadn't done what he did, he would have killed a lady. that thing. He turned the truck over, trying to save the lady, and he did. But, I've been to a lot of wrecks in that intersection. Had two in one day. Helicopter sat down on one of them, and another one took them off in the ambulance, but there's been a lot of, and I call in when that happens to make sure it gets put on the books. Because I understand not all of it gets put on the books. And DPS is supposed to do that.
That's right.
But it don't always get done. I just do it just to make sure,
That's a good practice.
you know.
That definitely helps.
Because, I don't think, and they come out there and y'all put rumble strips in. That's helped it on both sides. The flashing lights and marking and narrowing it up the intersection some. But it's still
Still a priority
a priority.
for residents in this area, and I was telling Judge at the meeting, it's a testament to how that group works together, because this area, with the amount of people that attend that group, the Young County area is a very small portion of the total amount of people that are at that area voting to prioritize those projects, and that one is still got a high priority, and that does carry a lot of weight with TxDOT when we were planning and trying to develop projects.
Zach, can I switch gears with you for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about the bridge project? Like the road, bridge on Hot Wells Road, just off of 701 there in South Bend? That thing, all they're doing is they just keep giving the signs to put up to lower the weight across it.
No.
And it's like it's falling apart.
I think it's on the list to be replaced.
Right.
And I think that I believe that all the matching.
Yeah, we've
things
matched.
that
We have
is
it.
laid.
I think that one is being developed, and I can get you some more information.
Man, I appreciate it.
Okay.
I really would.
It's,
I'll find out exactly where that one is, and I'll send you an email.
Thank you.
Dwayne, have you talked to Dwayne over that?
Yeah, they said that we've got all the matching money, they just keep putting it on the back burner. Well, what was waiting for? Somebody to fall through?
That's gonna be an expensive bridge there.
Now, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it.
well, it's a big project. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know, probably $600,000, $700,000 project, maybe more.
Bigger bridge, I've never driven over that.
Go
I've
across
seen
the
it
river.
there.
Yeah.
Just seen it from, that's one you can see from the highway, isn't it?
Yeah, you see it.
If you look off to your right down there, when you drive over, you can see the old dam.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes. Sometimes the water's up high enough. And lately, you can see it.
A question here, what's an open chip
Nova chip is a thin overlay,
in asphalt road?
just it's similar to what we've done. We did a thin overlay out here on 67, and we've got 380 going out of town. It's just a little better than a hot mix, a little less than a big overlay. It's a,
That's slurry stuff?
Nova chips, it's applied with a laydown machine. It sprays in motion and has an aggregate layer that comes right over the top of it. So it's similar to a slurry, but it's applied rigid.
Pretty durable.
It's pretty good product. This is what we did out here on 67. It looks pretty good. It's a pretty good overlay, and that's what we've been doing lately around the district in urban areas that are up for they're ready for a seal coat. We don't really want to seal coat through town because of the problems we had a lot of time in traffic in the summer. So we're using what's called a thin overlay. It's just a thin hot mix overlay. It's got more asphalt in it. It's got smaller rock in it.
What's the price on
It's high.
that?
Yeah, it's too high at the moment.
Well, in towns, you have trouble with that. Not using that, people turning all the time. That's what tears it up so bad.
That's right. But no, that's what a Nova chip is. It's a thin overlay, and we try to use it in urban areas. Sometimes we use it to compete with the thin overlay, another thin overlay process.
We call for some material alternatives.
Excuse me?
I said Stacy's looking for some material alternatives on it for our senior project.
Like a small overlay where it take the ripples out, take the bumps out.
Yeah, for the most part. That harmonic bump, it happens because you've got the loose material in your base layer. If it's something rigid that they're coming over, it won't experience it that bad. But it's expensive.
You got a lot of money.
Do you want some information on some pavement? or some prices or anything like that? I
I'll
can
just
get
do
with
some research on the internet.
Okay.
I've been doing some chip seal, but it'd be nice to, once you rehab some of this little asphalt roads, what we call them out in the country, and come in and put something to take the bumps out.
Berkeley did this in overlay for us. They don't do that no-chip process. That's kind of copyrighted. That's the wrong word. That's a process.
Is that thin overlay on 67 you're talking about, the city limits around that corner, or is it from the corner?
It's all the way from Boston all the way out south on 60.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, that's
Smooth.
Yeah.
Then you get on the,
So that's cheaper than asphalt overlay.
It's just slightly cheaper at the moment.
that is nice.
Yeah, it's a good product.
Back years ago, maybe 2000 or so, they had a little slurry that went through Almy, through downtown Almy, and then they did it west of Seymour also. But with all that traffic, it kind of started slipping and rippling.
We held that off for long and replaced it with this thin over there. Same stuff we
Did
did.
they do that slurry anymore?
I tried.
It just gives so much trouble.
They call that a microservice, is what they call that. And I've been involved with some projects of that type that have gone pretty south. So I avoid that particular problem.
It takes the bumps out though.
In the short term,
Right.
any cracking you've got reflects back through that.
But if you have less traffic and slower speeds, would it help up?
Best applications I've seen for that particular product is if something is already sealed, in other words, it doesn't have any cracking, and it's confined also, like between curb and gutter, per se. In other words, on a good road. I've seen it hold up well on something that's already in good shape. And that's
What's
not usually
price
the place.
on that?
Microservice is the cheapest,
Higher than chip seal, but,
but way cheaper than overload. Yes, sir.
how many companies do that?
There's not a whole bunch of them, but they're large companies and they usually come do whole sections at once.
I just walk a couple of miles at a time. And then they get with the location fees or giving them here. They don't charge much just to give here.
I've seen, lately a trend I've seen is municipalities hiring those microservice companies to do whole neighborhoods. I've seen that happen out in West Texas and Wichita Falls has done some also.
I'd be interested in some of them if somebody was to come through. If they had some jobs around.
Yes, sir. I try not to put it on the highway.
And I saw the results through all
Yes, sir.
West Seymour.
Any other questions you guys have on upcoming projects or prioritization or anything that comes to mind or you want to throw out there, feel free to email me. It'll get put on the list. And we have a lot more lists than just this is what's on the books for us. Our planning list contains projects. A lot of them we've been talking about here. They're just not funded and going to happen yet. So I decided to bring y'all a list of what we're actually going to do at this point. So.
Do y'all ever plan on, in the future, doing any of these approaches up going into these county roads? Any?
If we have an overlay or a widening or a rehab project that goes past the county road, our general practice is to redo the intersection to the right of
We
way.
do.
That'd be basically to the end of the radius, or the right of way.
You do the stop sign is, or
Any one in particular, or you just,
I've got one out there
you got one on
on
16?
16. Yeah, it needs it bad.
And really talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, it needs to be widened and everything. We'll try to turn it out there.
Yeah, Rocky's that surface way pretty good.
What does?
We always, I don't know if they mind, but we always pass that area for them a little bit, just to put rock in it so people won't hold.
Come off the edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
These people 24 hours a day running down that road.
I'll visit with Aaron and Rudy and see if we can't find a way to maybe work with you guys about doing something out there. Whatever we can look at, we'd be
We've had to experience that same problem out there where you turn off the Rocky Mountain Road off 16 North, where you drop off the pavement on the Rocky Mountain Road. rehab that road, so we have that road exit off the highway.
And when they say Rocky,
You know, we,
60 or so water trucks a day are making that turn.
for me, I don't mind going in with y'all and helping in wherever we can, in the past. Do whatever we can to help.
And a couple of these programs we're talking today are good avenues to have that kind of assistance. That's the next thing I was going to, that you have in your packet is our rider program.
You want to speak a little about the Title 43?
I can. It's been a long time. We call it our rider program. It changes numbers depending on what code it is or what the Appropriations Act that it's attached to changes. Each legislative session, the rider number changes. Currently, it's rider 19. And to make a long story short, this is assistance that we are encouraged to provide to each county. And the allocations are broken out based on a formula. And Young County is familiar with this program. I've taken advantage of it in the past. Since I've been here, I know we've helped with one, and we're trying to help with another currently. And the third sheet behind the information sheet shows each county in Wichita Falls' appropriation, I guess you could say. Down on the very bottom there, and for this county, the goal is a value of $17,764.
A little bit up from what it has been in the past.
Not bad. This program is a little bit flexible too. As with other programs, not all counties take advantage of it. We have a slight bit of flexibility to get some more work done in one area if there's not as much going on in other areas. It's a good avenue to get projects done, like you're talking about an intersection or a structure on a county road. We worked with Precinct 1 to repair some, to help provide some materials to the county to repair bridges and others.
Taking advantage of that a number of times over the past years.
It's a good program. Good way to get a lot of material or get a lot of work done.
I had the opportunity to tell your boss down in Austin when Greg Chamber of Commerce went down. We had his
On Grand Bay?
yeah, and encouraged them to continue that program. Suggested that y'all work very well with us in those projects, and we certainly hope that that continues to work, and it will, like Jimmy said, do anything to cooperate with you to get that kind of thing done. That one project out of Cambridge that we worked on worked out very well. The one we're working on now, I think will probably work out well once we get things moving on it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Guys, that's all I've got, unless you got any other questions.
One other question I got is it possible to see what other counties have done on their C-Turf projects? You know what I'm saying?
As far as
No, what I'm saying is like,
what
let's
type
say
of project?
yeah, on County Road 100,
Right.
Montague County did this.
No, that's the information I wasn't able to get.
Oh, okay.
This meeting, the storm, I think, had a little to do with that. And I was trying to get
I was just kind of curious to see what they're doing.
and I'm not sure what all they give to us about
Right.
and what information is available, but I can sure look.
I'm just curious.
You just have the numbers in here.
Yes, sir. All I've got is the accounting what's been turned in for reimbursement. And I apologize for that. There's that information's out there somewhere. I just wasn't able to get to it. I can dig up what I can dig up on that, and I can forward it on to you. Y'all can have it. Whatever's available, we'll be happy to show it to you.
Very good. Appreciate you coming. You
Thank you, guys.
I was kind of excited about that up there the other day. Well, whenever I see that, it started.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate that. Are there any more public comments, announcements, presentations? Any of them, anything?
Look out there.
Item number 4, Frederick County Clerk minutes for previous meeting, February the 9th, 2015. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Wiley to accept those minutes as presented. All in favor? Carried 5. financial report. Stephanie, do we have any report to make? Okay. No action there. Marcia, are there any budget amendments or voucher payments?
Yes, sir.
This is
Budget on that.
budget amendment for our medical,
Yes,
last one, from the last meeting,
yes, sir.
transferred $50,000.
Yes, sir. And on the vouchers,
Big.
people,
A motion, let's have a motion to ratify that
So moved.
amendment.
Second.
Okay, next.
okay, here are the vouchers payable on the general, we paid $354,678.45.
So moved.
I'll second it.
And how much was that trial? 300?
We will come back there. You seconded it, sir?
My motion to be second.
205 of them was,
Yeah.
I think it was the court appointed term.
What was that amount?
354s.
Very good. All in favor? Carry. That's approval of vouchers payable. Now, you second that amendment?
The budget,
Budget amendment.
it was Wally Rogers.
Right.
Was it?
Could you have me?
That didn't.
But
It was me.
I was just sitting here watching it.
What's on the vouchers?
On the vouchers, it's Pruitt and Wiley. Now we're underwater again.
Do we have anything else? Marcia?
No, that'll be it, thank you, gentlemen.
Item number 7, consider Sarah invoice 1050. We discovered that Eric helped us discover that was a misinvoice.
It was, there's the,
You got one right?
oh, you have the correct one? All right, even better. Yes, said it was just an oversight.
We'll send them check 1050, they sent us 500 back, right?
Yeah. I bet they would.
How about?
So moved, Mr. Sheriff.
Second.
And a motion, Commissioner Wiley, second Commissioner Pruitt to continue our web service with Sarah at $550 for web hosting. All in favor? Carried. Item number 8. We had our last meeting, we had Mr. Jim Sickle here representing Lions Club. He had a request to utilize the vacant lot at about 502 2nd Street for carnival purposes. He made his little statement request.
Well, with,
Anybody got any?
with their assurances that the lot will be returned back to good shape as it sits right now, I move to allow them to use it for the carnival.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Sykes, second from Commissioner Pruitt to allow the Lions Club use of the carnival. When's that carnival again?
May the 5th through May the 9th. We would actually start moving in on approximately May the 2nd and be totally off by sometime on May the 10th to the 11th.
Okay. That's May the 2nd through the 10th. And it be restored back to its current condition. All in favor? Carried 5-0. You got yourself a lot to use for a while.
Thank you.
And says I never miss one.
Yes.
I'm out here. Very good. Item number 9, I know y'all discussed that a little bit. This is the interlocal EMS board agreement with the Allen County Hospital District. This is we haven't had an official agreement in the last 2 or 3 years. I think 2010 was the last one that we had. So I took the one that we had with Graham, and I kind of submitted that to Mike Huff, and he had several suggested changes on it. So most of the changes, it's kind of a modified interlocal to fit Young County and Allen Hamilton Hospital District. It excludes, at their request, it excludes the city of Allen. So if they want to support those services, that would be a interlocal between Allen and Allen Hamilton Hospital District.
Does that change increase our support?
No. Commissioner Wiley brought up a point there that normally what occurs is they send us an expense voucher over here. Currently, it's a percentage of the deficit. Young County is sitting at 46% for the deficit. So if they request, Allen Hamilton Hospital District is something a little under that, and then the city of Allen is something a little under that. This kind of changes that aspect of it and considers it as basically a $35,000 annual payment.
So it caps it.
Cut in two for March the 15th, I believe, is one installment, and September the 15th is the next installment.
So that reduces the amount of accounting work that needs to be taking place for a percentage of deficit.
It does, it still
It
calls,
makes it a certain payment of, instead of 10.5 twice a year.
it still calls for an annual report.
An audit.
Back in early January, I sat down with them with that document that we executed with Graham, with their CFO and Mr. Huff, and we kind of come down with these numbers. And I guess they're approved, it's already been through their board, because it's got their signature on it, so, that does cap at 35,000, and that minimizes our exposure, rather than based on.
The 46% wasn't kept before.
Well, it was, it's kept by budget number.
Technically, yeah.
What was budgeted there?
We just, we capped it at this court deal at 35,000.
With those being the chances I understand, I'm say that we enter into this agreement with those changes made.
Mr. Huff, Michael's gonna be here today, I don't know, I guess the weather, it'll be all.
I was out of town last week, he was gone last Friday afternoon, he's already gone, so I didn't get to speak with him.
But you said in those negotiations.
Yes, well, we sat down with some numbers and did some editing on that whole document, and then, Judge Boyd completed it and filled it out and sent it back, and then.
If I make the motions, I can see that it caps our exposure. It's within our budget confines. It makes it easier for us to understand what we're paying. So I think it's positive from that.
As long as they do send us a voucher back, kind of recapping what they spent, so we know.
I think that's in there.
All of that in, and that one, and all them up there, all the annual report.
Yeah.
So we make that motion.
I'll say that you make that motion.
Motion that you.
Okay, we've got a motion by Commissioner Sykes, and second by Commissioner Rogers to execute the interlocal contract with Allen EMS at the stated rate for the time also on this. I didn't make mention of that, but that's a automatic renewal unless some aspect or one of the parties chooses to change the agreement, then it will renew itself for each renewal term. All in favor? Carried. Item number 10, consider comptroller's public accounts unclaimed property division requesting claims of capital credit from electric co-ops. We did this last year, the first year that I can ever remember doing that, but I think it was for 2012 and 13, if I recall right. Combined, we have to make that request by letter to the comptroller. It has to do with economic development, what it can be spent on. It says here that it has to comply with the terms of
That's your local government code, 38.
that's local government code 381. So it's in a special, those funds that we receive there will go into a special fund, I suspect.
I think we do have a money for our
I'm not sure just how we spend them. I don't remember how much it was. It wasn't a great deal of money, but it was a little bit. We have to make the request to receive it. So that's what this is all about.
You can go online and see that because they post it online.
Well,
There's other people that miss out on the money and stuff like that. You can go and do the same thing and reclaim it. You might be surprised what you see, what you missed out on.
I look all the time.
I move that we authorize a letter from the Commissioner's Court for the funds, potential funds available, 1.004, that's local government.
we have a motion by Commissioner Sykes, second by Commissioner Rogers to authorize the letter to the comptroller of public accounts of the state of Texas requesting any capital credit from electric cooperatives that may be due to Young County in the year 2014. All in favor? Okay. Item number 11, to ratify lease agreements with American National Leasing Company for SO vehicles.
It doesn't show when they trade, what they got traded on that one. It shows them at down payment of $9,000 on that one.
Doesn't show a trade difference.
Less than
It don't say trade, it just says payment.
We got $2,500 for the sale of that one.
All in all. But they was holding this other one out because they said you could get more out of it, but I haven't seen it.
it's a 9,000 good, but it would be 9,000, about 7,000.
Well, they call that a down payment, of course.
The down payment would be cash and trade with
Yes.
vehicle.
Yeah. And the upgrade on anything is nearly $12,000.
The increased cost of this equipment continues to be a concern.
I think they were going to use their old equipment from last year, but they wouldn't fit into this one.
Could be.
Anybody know where exactly these vehicles are going to be put into service?
There. When?
Where?
Oh, where?
Is it going to be patrol officers? Is it going to be
Yeah, they'll be.
administrative? Is it going to be?
I think they're patrol vehicles. I believe they are.
Well, I've seen that. It's a new style.
And I think they are in service. I think. Are they not? They are.
Yes, sir, I've been sure them, so I don't think they are.
But you don't know exactly how they're being used?
Patrol is my understanding. I don't know exactly which officer, but patrol is minors.
It shows total for 2 units, 59,062.80.
I do believe they're supposed to get us that information though, which we just haven't gotten yet, still.
Documents, I think. What's the course pleasure?
We already got them,
Yeah, I move to ratify the agreement.
so, that's second. We already got them. Maybe next time with the new style, we can use that same old equipment again.
Motion, Mr. Wiley.
Oh, he,
Right.
I got a second.
Motion by Commissioner Shide, second by Commissioner Wiley to ratify the lease agreement with American National Leasing Company for the Sheriff's Department vehicle number 2, looks like identical financing contracts. All in favor? Carried. Item number 12. Ratify contracts with First National Bank Leasing for lease purchase of motor graders for precinct 2 and precinct 4. Those over?
Yeah, I'm looking for them. I got my payments gone down using them, so it's a good thing.
Are these graders that you traded for, like the ones you had?
No, they're,
I don't know if your model is different,
Mine's different than
We got
but.
the steering wheel on?
The 12 in.
mine's good, I mean,
Got the steering wheel on?
no steering wheel. Still
Well-
joysticks.
Cat has this, over the years, taken and upgraded their sizes. We do a comparison between the weight and everything, and the 12M and the 140M, exact same weight.
That's basically what I'm asking. I'm just trying to understand these
But your,
apples and oranges to apples and
but
apples to.
your initial cost is a lot less.
You get front wheel drive.
No, I can get front wheel drive.
Yeah, I got 12 in them also. And they work to maintain the roads.
That's smaller motor grader than the 140.
So, same size.
Yeah, they're a little smaller.
What's the difference in
Just a little more horsepower.
cost?
Cost.
They're cheaper.
Yes. My guys, you know, my main concern was whenever I did this is trading again later on, whether we'll bring the same. And, I'm gonna try one to see what it'll do. But, the savings you can get on them, I think. And of course, the guys running it said they like that 12 just as well as they do 140. You know, it's got the same kind of cab, more or less.
So when you're trading formats, just basically is going from
One
what, tier 3 to tier 4 engine?
Yes.
And yours is that.
I've got tier 4 in
Tier
there.
4 also.
All you stuff
All
you
of
get
them are
down,
anymore.
you're gonna have burn blue def in them, so.
They don't use that blue depth as much as you thought they would. I thought they would.
No,
We've been getting about 2 fill-ups to 1 fill-up of blue depth.
that's just grading roads, though, if you
Right.
pull ditches and stuff, then you'll try to.
Oh, we're doing,
We're trying on.
we've been pulling ditches, yeah.
How much that's going to cost?
It's pretty reasonable, it's 2 something a gallon, it's not bad.
And the fill up is how many gallons?
I don't know where they.
2.5. I fill up on the blue depth is 2.5 gallons.
2.2.
Yeah, but the tank size is what, 7, 8 gallons? It's on it.
Yeah.
It's got a system that's designed on there that you cannot turn it off when you go back. All these new ones, you gotta turn them off at the main switch. But but there's a light back here, and if that light is on, you can't turn it off until that light goes off, because what it's doing is it's sucking all the fluid out of your lines back in the tank.
Right.
And, if you don't do that, it'll leak in the lines out, they said, so.
Has something to do with,
The depth.
category 4.
Yeah, tier 4, yeah.
Emissions.
Yeah. That's what you can hear on these new pickups. When you turn a pickup off, it's doing the same thing, it's sucking it back into the tank, so. You're reading all it is.
They're going with it now.
I'm still on gasoline. So.
Yeah. They do. I wouldn't have a diesel now.
Okay, what's the pleasure on the contracts?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Wiley to ratify a lease contract with First National Bank Leasing for the purchase of motor graders for precinct 2 and 4.
Yes.
All in favor? Carried. 5. Item number 13, discuss options for improved coverage radio, Young County radio systems. Dwayne Hain, he couldn't be here today. He did communicate with me, and there's something else that he wants to look at with regard to another tower, and I think I made contact with KSWA, KWKQ. Their tower out there about 4 or 5 miles northwest of Murray, of Alaska, is available, can be available. It's sitting at 11, if Google Earth is right, it's sitting at 1,150 feet elevation, and it's about a 400-foot tower, maybe just short of 400 feet. He wants to look at that. He thinks that may be a good option. So the tower, its profit, that's an AT&T tower. It's at 1,180 feet elevation, and it's I believe something just short of 500 feet on that tower. So, he didn't make any comments about that one, and I don't know whether it's available or not. Anybody except Brad's telephone.
Feel like there's a lot more pieces to this puzzle, which you'll try and fit together.
And
That's what the rental was. How much it cost to do that?
okay, so good. No, Joe would have to talk to their, he didn't think that it would be very much, but he said he'd have to run that by them.
That tower, excuse me, how do you get to that tower?
You get to it off McAfee Road.
Yeah.
And I say you do, I guess you get to it off 209 too, going down through Burke's place.
Just 2 ways in.
But it's kind of right up on, just right up on a ridge. You know where you see it all the time. Dwayne said it,
That part of McAfee Road, it stinks.
That
That part of McAfee Road stinks. So,
I checked with Bobby, I talked to Bobby about his tire there,
grade, pick up, grade, pick
and
up.
he's talking to his wife, but he don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
And I told him we was gonna have to do some maintenance on it to get, before we could do anything with it. And, he said that he'd already talked about taking his antenna down and stuff. The other thing is he don't think it'll be much. As far as electricity goes, I was gonna talk to Dwayne, I don't think he uses much electricity. I figure something like that into some kind of lease agreement, from payment or something that would cover one little bit of electricity, because if the battery backup will take care of it, there's not gonna be much.
Is it sitting out by itself or is it by the barn?
It's right there by his barn.
Does he use the barn to house his equipment? Or has he got a little building with it?
No, all he did was just went and put his inside his barn there. But he didn't know if we wanted to use it inside his barn or if we wanted to put a little building out there and put all of it in, you know. Whether, depending on if it had to be climate controlled or not, or whatever, we're gonna talk to Dwayne and see what he thought about it. If it was a refrigerator if it had to be or not. You know, and it might be better if it had a little building at the base of it there, and that way,
How tall is that tower?
that tower's 180 something foot, I believe.
About that tower we
Yeah.
Okay.
Good location, good location. Please,
Maybe we'll maybe talk about it at the next meeting.
I'm getting much more that's yes.
So moved.
Second.
That's seven.
Yes.
Got a motion by Commissioner Pruitt and a second by Commissioner Wiley to take item number 13 for further consideration. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Okay, this next item, number 14, Marcia, did you check with Michelle Arsenault with regard to this policy?
I believe Cheryl had a call into her.
Okay.
I can get a hold of Cheryl.
I didn't get a chance to make contact with her since, so.
I'll move we table it till the next meeting.
Yeah.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Wiley to table item number 14 for consideration. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Okay, item number 15 is open bid. That was supposed to be a 10 o'clock item, but we didn't get started at 10.
There wasn't any bid, so
And I understand there were no bids received.
it will be hard to do. So I propose to take this to the public auction having on March 14th.
We can take it
Forward.
No, to the Masonic auction down here.
Oh.
Paid them 10% to sell it. And their equipment's so good.
You got that motion?
Yes, sir, I'll second that.
Okay, that needs to be advertised. We'll need to put that in the paper.
So we're gonna take that to the
Yeah,
office.
It'll be sold at the public auction, consignment auction.
2 weeks before that auction.
Let me ask you, if they put that on their flyer, can that be considered as part of the advertisement?
Yeah, it would be great if we could do that now, just because it could go on the flyer, it would be restricted.
I'll make a,
You might call Allison
I'll
or
ask
somebody.
about that.
Because that'd be the same as an advertisement, that's gonna be put out prior to what's gonna take place.
What's the date on that?
Okay, so
14th of March, because it's been put in the area papers also. I know that we discussed down in Austin legislation that will allow counties to do online advertising of those bid situations.
Really? So if we advertise it on our Young County website, that's advertisement.
That's advertising. We're living in a world today that everything.
I think it states have to be published. That's
Currently it does.
March what,
14th.
15th?
okay, Judge, so if it can't be put on the flyers, you want
That'd
us
be
to
put in the
advertise it?
In 2 editions.
I'll make sure on that
No,
publication, but I think it's
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks
2 separate weeks.
2 separate
Yeah.
weeks.
prior to the auction.
The first, I think the first
March
must be
the,
at least 14 days.
the
All right,
auction's March the
14th.
14th.
yeah, we'll have that.
Just those.
It's gonna be taking place.
Have to be in this week's, starting this week.
Okay, we got a motion from Commissioner Side, second from Commissioner Wiley to sign. Make note that we received no bids for the New Holland skid loader and attachments. And that Commissioner Sykes moves that we can sign that piece of equipment to the Masonic auction March 14th here in Graham, Texas. All in favor? Carried 5-0.
Persistent, ain't
Anybody want to burn ban restriction?
I don't think we'd like learn today.
Did you get that work, that's fine.
Yes, it would.
Motion to adjourn.
So move. I got one we can do, I can do that too.
Okay. Who got that motion?
I did.
Who got the second?